Hello, everyone. Yes, hello. Welcome to the political recap stream for today, March the 19th of 2021. My name is Trups LP, and joining me, as always, is Omegon himself. Say hello, Omegon.
Hello.
And we're going to be talking today about some mostly American politics. But before that, Omegon, how are we doing today?
I'm all right. It's been a semi-productive week.
Good.
Could
Good.
have done more, but didn't. Had dentist.
Could have done less.
Yeah, the dentist was funny. You have to. It was raining, so I had to wait outside in the rain. They complained that I didn't have a coat on. Well, it was raining, and I wasn't allowed to wait inside, and it wasn't raining when I left the house. It wasn't meant to rain either.
What? The UK? It was raining?
Yeah, I know.
My God.
Who would have thunk it, right? It was, a checkup, basically. And then I moaned because I wanted more special toothpaste. Because I'm exciting like that. How's Trups, by the way?
He's doing okay.
Yeah? Busy week?
I don't know. It feels like I kind of dragged along this week.
That's
I
unfortunate.
got a lot of things done eventually, but it felt as if I was, dragging my feet a lot.
Well,
But
at least you get stuff done, though, at least.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Indeed.
But politically, we have no, I don't know how to describe it because the stories themselves aren't necessarily impactful by themselves. If they stood on their own, most of the stories that we're going to talk about aren't that interesting.
Stop.
However,
Thank you, History Bloopers, for the $5 donation. Welcome, Biden. Thank you very much, History Bloopers.
thank you, History Bloopers. By their own merits, like they're not interesting, but together they lend themselves to a story or a situation rather that's kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
So, where should we start? Well, I guess we could just start with President Harris.
Sure. Let's start
Okay,
with her.
so this isn't a new gaffe from Biden. This isn't a new gaffe from the administration or people talking about the administration. There were instances right when he had gotten elected, even beforehand, where he was mentioning that the Harris-Biden administration. Do you remember that?
Oh yes, I do recall, because we mocked it.
And it hasn't been. It's saying President Harris is basically just full on mask off. This is what it is. So for those just who haven't gotten the point, Biden in an interview literally said basically President Harris and I, which left a lot of people wondering who's actually running the federal government.
It's a tough decision.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people quietly knew or quietly would make that assumption.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think anybody was ever too confident or too willing, per se, to go full out and say, yes, it is Kamala Harris who is running things. Right? So it's a hard thing to look at and say one way or the other. But because this is a repeat event, I have to say that there's more credibility to it than if it was just a one-off gaffe.
Yeah.
Because this is now a repeat thing.
Thank you, History Blooper, for the £3 donation. Welcome, Megan and Harry, in that order. Very kind of you.
Well, thank you. I don't know which one of us is Megan and which one is Harry.
I honestly, at this point, I would assume I'm Megan because Omegon.
Oh, yes, that could be done that way, yes. At least it wasn't President Clinton. I don't know about that. At least we wouldn't be taken in the ass by China. We might
Allegedly.
be in like 3 different wars, but if we had a President Clinton, but
Right.
whatever. The issue here is more along the lines of Biden mentally not being the one to make the decisions. And it would kind of make sense if Biden really isn't the one making decisions, why he hasn't come out and said anything yet. Right? That's why he hasn't addressed the nation yet. We're going on still. I think it's like 73 days since his start, where he has not yet addressed the nation in the State of the Union or even a press conference.
Yeah.
If I were the conspiracy type, then I would say perhaps it's because he doesn't actually know the plan, because Kamala hasn't told him.
Well, that's interesting you mentioned that. I, earlier, before we started, spoke about the fact he will at best be a one-term president. That can be traced back to 2019, where top advisors, they outside the campaign revived the idea that he would only serve one term because he had said as much. Because it was a pledge from
I don't
him
think
at
he
the time.
wanted to be here.
But over the course of the election cycle, so August, November more notably, Biden himself indicated he would run for a second term on the 23rd of August if he won, and Biden's sister, on the 10th of November, indicated that he would do that if he had to. But then I mentioned this because I'd also mentioned to you before we started that there was an article circulating that indicates he won't run for a second term, and everyone knows it. It's from The Telegraph in the UK. I'm just waiting for it to archive because it requires me paying to look at it, and I will not pay to look at it. So the first sentence of the article reads the following: "It's day 57 in the Joe Biden White House, and he still hasn't held a press conference. That is the longest for a new president in nearly 100 years, since Calvin Coolidge." So at some point on day 64, Biden is going to submit to a live public grilling. Just a quick thing. On the subject of grilling, I guess. Has Biden been grilled so much as once by anyone that isn't
No,
right-wing and
he
British?
he gets so much fucking love from the press. Somebody who I was listening to was explaining that because of Biden's stammer, people have to kind of make up the correct parts of what he's saying.
Yes. Well, that's actually a point.
So
because Biden, he has done an interview, but it was done with Bill Clinton's former communications director and was pre-recorded. That does not count as any kind of grilling at all, and it was done by, at best, a colleague.
No, absolutely.
I get he's got an approval rating that's quite high right now, but when the only voice in America calling him out is Tucker Carlson, it's kind of strange.
Who, by the way, was grilled by John Oliver on his show for some fucking reason.
I think it was because didn't Tucker Carlson, in a thing that shouldn't have been aired because it was off-air thing, he'd had an argument with somebody, and people were like, "Oh, we must flay him for this."
I guess, but it seemed disingenuous at best.
Oh, it was, and I haven't seen the John Oliver thing yet, but I would assume it was pathetic.
I listened to all of it, and oh my god, he is such a petty little shit.
They will be.
I can't believe that he gets paid.
So when I hear when I've said the term pedantic little shits, when I've referenced my own audience who pick on little tiny details, it is that same thing employed by more left-leaning reporters, and I'll include Oliver on this because he does report on things with a comedic twist, end air quotes. But it is that thing of latching onto something almost inconsequential and giving it more gravitas in the grander scheme, but to deflect or to distract from the bigger point, which I find to be quite frustrating. And John Oliver is no exception to this.
Oh yeah, and it's funny that that many leftists that you'll debate online
Yeah.
will flash the whataboutism when you try to say something that is cursory related as a relevant point. For example,
Yeah.
immigration problems. Well, what happened to all the Democrats who thought immigration was a problem, 10 years ago?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, that's a different time. It's whataboutism. It's not related. I'm like, it's totally related. This person flip-flopped their opinion.
The whataboutisms. The arguments on whataboutisms. I've seen so many videos this week on that, and I just can't be arsed with it. Half the time, they're not even that at all.
Well, he made a point during his video where he basically just goes, like, Carlson had gotten his entire career off of somebody talking about the OJ trial, and they didn't have anyone to say it, so they were just like, "Here, Tucker, go talk about OJ." And I'm like, what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, no,
it is completely irrelevant.
It's the whole argument thing I made about distraction, inconsequential, to deflect off another point. In the article I've mentioned about I was talking about earlier, it does indicate here also that Biden appears to be a man in a hurry and not one who is contemplating an 8-year project, because he has already pushed through the relief bill. He's already working on a $4 trillion infrastructure program, and he's raising Kamala Harris's profile by giving her prominent speaking events. Which I'm speed reading this. I'll be honest. It does indicate he's not really.
He's not thinking about turn
No, he's not. He's thinking about doing as much as he can as quick as he can, and that will be how he's remembered. For getting things done quickly, even if it's only in 2 years or 1.
And at what cost?
Let's just forget that Capitol Hill still has a fucking fence, and you did everything via executive order.
Which means that it can be undone via executive order.
So, well, yes, because he did it all to undo Trump stuff, didn't he? Which is totally grown up of him.
Well, both of them, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I get why Trump had pushed a lot of things, but it was also facing a never Trump house. Now, to be fair, they could have done things in the first 2 years. They just didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because they were still doing the Russia investigation.
Oh, the stonewalling as well was doing my head in.
Well, a lot of even conservative media, Fox News, will mention that despite Trump having control over both houses, and the presidency, they didn't do anything in the first 2 years. And I'm sat there thinking, do you guys forget that Trump was literally under investigation for being a quote unquote Russian asset at the time? You guys not remember any of that?
It's isn't that called revisionist history? I don't know.
Yes, it is.
It sounds like a
source. It's definitely lies by omission.
It's funded by RT, man. It's funded by RT.
Russia Today, man.
We had that in the UK. People said that Russia Today have funded the briefing room that they use now for the COVID updates. I mean, it was a stupid amount of money to spend on it. 2.6 million to spend on essentially a microphone.
Imagine people being as upset about any Chinese company operating in their country as much as they're upset about Russia Today.
They're just here to help, man. They're just here to help.
Dude, I love... I'm playing Genshin Impact right now. I fucking love that game. It's a Chinese gacha game. Gachapon. Like, rolling for characters and weapons and stuff. That's Chinese, dude. It's owned by the Chinese. League of Legends, owned by Tencent and Riot Games, right?
Yeah.
TikTok, owned by... What the fuck was it called?
Don't know. I'm just impressed you have 2 X chromosomes. I didn't know you could multitask.
Wait. I have ADHD. Leave me alone. That's my excuse, and that's what I'm sticking to.
If I started playing a game while streaming, all you'd hear is aggressive mouth breathing and mouse clicking. False advertisement. Smash like to get Biden and Putin in the ring. Two men walk in. Oh, it's Thunderdome, mate. Thank you for the £3 donation.
Yeah.
Also,
I can
didn't
multitask,
Biden called Putin a killer, and Putin's response was takes one to know one.
Damn.
Okay.
I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not though. You did an airstrike. How long into your presidency? Putin's just a dictator. Come on.
I think it was a month.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, don't forget, Putin was also ex-KGB, so he doesn't even have to say, like, yeah, he did it in his presidency. I mean, man, he did it before he was prime minister.
Yeah. It was certainly something. So Biden's gaffe on Kamala... he even said Kamala Harris, didn't he, actually?
No, he said President Harris.
Oh, I think... No, I had a quote somewhere. Didn't he say Kamala as well? Or was that you earlier just messaging and saying Kamala?
That was me.
Okay, my mistake. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no, his quote was President Harris.
Ah, right. Okay. Well, there's one gaff. I know wasn't he trending because of it? Oh, no, I did actually put an image of the trending page. He's of President Harris. It's an image just above him fluffing. And it says, Putin says it takes one to know one after Biden agrees with a statement calling the Russian president a killer. Which also includes a video of Joe Biden outside the White House, apparently being real according to fact checkers. Do you want to talk about that for a bit?
I'm sorry. It is a what now?
Real, apparently.
What was real?
Go to our sources area. Go up. And
yeah.
It's the image I put above the disclosed TV tweet.
Oh, yes.
Video of Joe Biden outside the White House is real, according to fact checkers.
Okay, so this was that video of him getting interviewed, quote unquote, by the press.
Yeah.
And several people, Memology 101 was one of them, but many people had brought attention to the fact that Biden's hand passes over microphones that are at least 6 feet away from him. This is not impossible, but it's definitely not supposed to be that way in the video. You can clearly see where clipping and bad photoshopping did happen.
I'll tell you what, I'll go get an image and I will stick it on our monitors so everyone can see it temporarily. I will then switch back to the image I had planned to put there. But it is quite... I don't know how to describe it. It's such a strange image.
So, okay, green screen is part of it, or part of the explanation. But I think there's more to it, because there is a picture of him literally there with, like, the media.
Yeah, I can.
My question.
I have that image as well. I'll go and get it.
But my question is, the video that we saw is definitely edited. It's definitely edited, and his hand passes over it, and it's awful. But he was there. So my question is, why the fuck would you even bother editing that? It's awful. It's an awful decision to make. If you're going to say, like, it was a bad, like, cropping or whatever, like, that's fine. But my problem is, like, why do you have both? Like, the picture that's on screen, the one of him standing in front of the reporters, sure, that's fine. But then the other one where his hand passes over the microphone, why bother doing that?
Yeah, so this looks like, if you use Adobe, you get a far better result. That hand, I mentioned this yesterday in the exhibition of stupid people. I said that this looked really strange. The video is real, he was there. But that arm bit, it made no sense. Especially because they're meant to be 2 meters away, which therefore that implies they're closer. Also, Okie Native, thank you for the $2 donation. Chinese ambassador was funnier. I agree. I don't know why you had to do that. It's because for the majority of that video, if you did watch the other angles, his hands were by his side. That's it. There is no reason to move his hand, and all you've done is stir up some, I would say, controversy, but it's nonsense.
Yeah, no, it is. They totally did.
I don't understand why you have to do that. Because it just
Yorkshire
looks...
Tom says, my guess is to make it look like there was a heavier press preference. Maybe, but it also means that the press weren't obeying 6-foot social distancing rules.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, how anyone heard anything he said made no sense at all. I get the whole, we're on federal property, you know, you've got to wear a mask. The guy's outside and he's 2 meters away from them. He doesn't need that mask. And I say that because because the people on the other side aren't 2 meters apart at all. None of them are. And even if they are wearing masks, they're still not socially distanced nor within a support bubble. So therefore you're breaking your own rules in the first place. At that point, you're not helping yourself, Joe. You're really not.
No, and neither is the media. Like, whoever had actually clipped that, whether it was ABC, CNN, MSNBC, whoever, like, you made it worse. You made it much worse. So, I don't know. I don't know why any of it happened. I don't know why they opted to do this. All they did was cause more issues and bring into question more about the relative transparency that the Biden administration is not bringing to the table.
Yeah.
Because this is the shit. The same thing that happened in the election. Why do this if you're not doing something wrong?
Mm-hmm.
If you just let it happen, if you just let it be natural, I don't care if it makes him look good or look bad. You bring a lot less questions if the person is just doing his own thing.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So I don't understand. I don't understand why the media finds it necessary to do these stupid ass things.
It's when I see on Twitter it trending that fact checkers tell me the video's real. Well, the video is real, except for that one bit, that one piece in the bottom. The microphone did move under his arm, or move into that position, yes, but his arm wasn't there. That's why it looks so weird, because the fluff on the detail fluff on that boom mic is so difficult to crop around. So difficult to put an arm there as well, without it looking like it's got pixeled edges on the on his suit.
If you look at that arm in that picture,
I'll go and get it again.
That lighting is so goddamn bright.
Oh yeah, his arm as well looks brighter. I fully agree, but the crop on it is inaccurate and it shows. I will pull the image up again.
Deep fakes, man.
I don't even see the point.
Do you know what deep fakes are, or like how they work? Relatively?
Yes, because the Tom Cruise thing was trending last week because people were doing videos of it, and it was quite convincing. I saw one of YouTuber Vash singing some song, and
yes, I also saw that.
People had done some on Sean Head as well, and I think they'd done some porn-related ones of her as well.
I'm surprised that they haven't done one with Shuan Head going, "My name is Boxy."
I think she did that long ago.
She did, but I thought it was funny.
So I put for those who are watching on YouTube, I've put the image back on the screen. The crop, you can see the edging on his hand, even on the screen we provide. It's obvious. It's that arm has been faked, but I don't and another giveaway is the hand, where the thumb meets the index finger. They haven't cropped between.
Yeah, because it has, and also the fade in the later digits.
But
like
also when you, so I would argue it's a chroma key, a really bad one, I might add, done on a really bad screen effect, because it's created a pixeled edging on the suit. Which, and if you look at his other arm, there's a bit of sleeve missing. A shirt bit, in fact. Sorry, I know you could say his knuckles are up, but I'm sorry, you'd still see some of it. So I don't understand why you had to do. It's such it's inconsequential. Again, it's that thing I said earlier. It's inconsequential, and it's a big distraction from other things. And that's frustrating to me.
Yeah, this didn't need to happen.
Mhm.
he was there.
Yeah.
If maybe it was to show that he was more active.
But he wasn't. He walked away as if he didn't know how to walk. He was so robotic. His arms moving meant nothing at that point. I don't get it. I'm too old to understand this. I'm too old, okay?
You're too old?
Yeah, no level of irony there.
Okay.
All
right, so
getting Biden off our
before
screens.
before we jump into the last little bit of Biden scaring the absolute shit out of the nation, is there anything from the UK that we want to touch on real quick?
Yes, we do. Okay, yes, because then I don't have to make a video on it on Monday. Earlier in the week, Nicola Sturgeon's chief of staff was accused of meddling in a sexual harassment probe into Alex Salmond. I have covered this in so many videos on this channel.
Going on.
Oh, it's about to end, and I'll tell you why in a minute. During UK Parliament, David Davis invoked parliamentary privilege to read out some text messages. These were text messages. Oh boy. These were from two top civil servants that were sent on the 6th of February 2018 that suggested that the Chief of Staff for Nicola Sturgeon, Liz Lloyd, had interfered. The messages... Liz's interference, very bad. Which, with the timeline, and Nicola Sturgeon claiming under oath that she did not become aware of the probe until the following April... was proven now not true. Because there were more messages. And if anything, it showed that it was at best a coordinated, intentional attack. It also suggested, obviously, that there was a knowledge from the Chief of Staff of the Alex Salmond case 2 months earlier. Okay, this is bad. So David Davis, in Parliament, he read these out. Do I have the tweet out? I don't have the tweet open, do I? Because I'm not smart enough to pull it up first, am I? No, I'm not. Grumble. There was a video, and I've completely forgotten to go and get it. Hang on, no, I can do this. This will do it.
Now, for example, these texts show that there's a concerted
I'm playing a video for those
by
who
senior members
you won't be
of
able
the
to hear it.
SNP to encourage complaints. The messages suggest that SNP Chief Executive Peter Murrell coordinated Ruddick and Ian McCann, the SNP's compliance officer, in the handling of specific complainants. On the 28th of September, a month after the police had started their investigation of the criminal case, McCann expressed great disappointment to Ruddick that someone who had promised to deliver 5 complainants to him by the end of that week had come up empty or overreached, as he put it.
Right. So, there is a bit more to this, and I need to go and get the source quickly. Scroll. Right, so yes, Leslie Evans, because of this, who is the permanent secretary, has been told she needs to resign, but she hasn't. People have rebuted the claims that Nicola Sturgeon's chief of staff have interfered with the complaint, but provided zero evidence to the contrary, which is hilarious. That's interesting. Also interesting is that the SNP look set to be, because they've got elections in Scotland, on course to retain, not really a majority, but Nicola Sturgeon looks to remain as First Minister, which is really interesting, really, isn't it? If you don't have a majority, and let's say you're found guilty within the report that's going to be published in a few days, that you misled Parliament and also breached ministerial code, but you stay on and what does that say about politics if someone who is blatantly corrupt and undemocratic stays in office? What does it tell you?
The system is fucked.
Good. So the report was leaked apparently to Sky News, and so a committee of members of Scottish Parliament, who are those within the committee, by a majority of 5 to 4, voted that it was in the testimony provided through 8 hours of interrogation by Nicola Sturgeon was fundamentally contradicted by the testimony of Alex Salmond, because unlike Nicola Sturgeon's, Alex Salmond's statements can be corroborated. All of it could, in fact. Nicola Sturgeon believes this to be a partisan leak and stands by her evidence to the committee. Well, Keir Starmer, who is leader of the Labour Party, Ruth Davidson, who's leader of the... I don't know if she's anymore, but she was certainly in charge of the Scottish Conservatives, believes she needs to consider resigning because of the leak. Yeah. Let's see, where's the quote? Oh, jeez. Oh, yeah. So, the inaccurate evidence amounts to a... does in fact mean you've... Hang on a second. Another false ad, 50 likes. Join us for a match of the offended by everything century Biden v Putin. Thank you for the £3 donation. If you've misled Parliament or any inquiry by lying under oath, that is, well, it's a resignation offence. Simple as that. And, no, they don't believe her evidence. And it's considered partisan by Nicola Sturgeon because of it was, in fact, straight up down party lines. All SNP members, 4 of them, all voted, nah, she's telling the truth, mate. What a coinky dink. Everyone else is like, oh, if that's how you're going to vote, we're just going to stick it up your arse. Another claim here that came out is that Nicola Sturgeon has said, even if she is found guilty and to have breached ministerial code, that she will stay on anyway. That's not good. That's really not good. In fact, that is surprising. It shows you that you that person, Nicola Sturgeon in this case, doesn't have a shred of integrity, because she had every opportunity to do the right thing, but as I have repeatedly covered on this YouTube channel, she has provided zero evidence, and when she has provided it, it's been late. It's been tainted. It's not actually accurate, or there weren't minutes kept from vital meetings, which mean then her story cannot be corroborated. Unlike Alex Salmond's, which could be corroborated by, who was it? Legal advisor Duncan Hamilton QC. Because he was able to corroborate everything with receipts, which is quite bad. Now, the committee is going to be publishing this within the next few days. There is a poll that currently says, should Nicola Sturgeon resign if she broke the code? 51% say yes. 35% say no. Speaks volumes, doesn't it? Where's the rest of them? Huh.
They would probably be in I don't know enough about this story. Is that possible?
So, do you want to know the full story?
No. I'm saying that's where the other people are.
Yes, it's quite possible, actually. Which does explain a lot, because I've been looking at Scottish tabloids, and the majority of them do not cover this. It's actually the English who are doing a better coverage of this. Only one that is very ardently anti-SNP, and that's it. And that's the case of politics in Scotland, like in the US. Those who support the ruling party aren't going to criticise the ruling party, are they? And they are many. They outnumber the others. And the SNP have ruled Scotland for a long time. They really have. And people aren't being given a fair chance to see this. And when they do see it from the voice of an Englishman. And because of that, they're not going to take it as valid or valuable. Instead, they're going to look at it and think, oh, it's an Englishman. We can't take your word for this. We're not going to look into it either. We're going to go back to our jobs, and we're going to go and ignore you now because we hate the English, because we have been conditioned for decades, generations, centuries to hate the English. Now, you have a valid reason to hate the English, and quite frankly, I'm with you on that. But at this point, it's actually in your face, and you're still voting for it. And that's the problem. People, the more casual voter, doesn't pay attention to what's actually going on. They're just like, I'm just an SNP voter. I don't care what's going on.
The uneducated voter, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, casual, I used it because it's more of it's a boxing reference to people who just follow a particular boxer, but they're not really interested, right? And I get that. I really do. But the SNP, they have a track record of withholding information. They have a track record of not providing information. They have a track record of lying. And if Nicola Sturgeon is found to have lied in that report, along with misusing her parliamentary, breaching ministerial code, and lying or misleading the committee, and still stays in her office or her job, I'll be honest, that's absolutely disgusting. It's an absolutely disgusting display of use of power. And if you stay when found guilty, because I think you are going to be found guilty at this point, I'll be honest, you need to leave. You need to leave because it's best for your party. Nicola Sturgeon claimed that she would do the right thing depending on what the report says. But the report has been, leaked. It says she lied. Did I save that source? Did I save the Sky one? Yeah, so the source is from News Sky.
News Sky.
Yeah, it's
That different than Sky News?
It's how the link comes up.
Really?
News.sky.com. Yeah. So if she's misled the committee, then she's got to leave. She costs the taxpayers several £100,000. How are you still in a job? Every time you beg for money from the UK government, you base it on the fact that you've spent too much. Okay, well, you spent too much on this, and you're spending money on other little pet projects, none of which accomplish anything for the majority of the people. It's entirely done to virtue signal. You're in an election season, and I'll be honest, this is Alex Salmond has played a game here. Because he has done this and timed it just at the right moment. To go in on Nicola Sturgeon right in the middle of election season, yeah. This is how you destroy someone's career. And I'll be honest, he actually could have done something sooner when he was cleared last year. But when he was cleared, he said he would wait because coronavirus should be the priority of this government, and then he'll act. And I'll be honest, he timed it perfectly when he decided to because of how this is played out now. He should be very proud of himself.
I mean, he executed it very well. But at the same time, at what cost? But you kind of have to when it comes to the corruption of your government. Especially when it's costing you money that could be used for other things. Like, I don't know, the EU and other European nations aren't necessarily doing too hot with your vaccine rollouts. How's that going?
India has AstraZeneca, whatever it's called, the Oxford one, EU nations were rejecting it, and eventually they all buckled and were like, okay, we'll take it, because of fears of blood clots, I believe. We have a delay on some vaccines on our end from other countries. I think it's from India, withholding 4 million doses, and that's fine. I got a text the other day saying I was eligible for one because of a pre-existing health condition. I have anxiety. That is not a pre-existing health condition, and honestly, there are many more people who have far worse conditions than me that need it before me. Give it to them, please. I can't be arsed with armache yet. I do want to quickly just go back on the Sturgeon thing, because she one of the most damning parts of it was that she had made an offer to intervene in the Scottish government investigation into harassment claims, but she claimed she had not offered. But the lawyer, the legal advisor, was able to prove the receipt that says, if it comes to it, I will intervene, which came from Nicola Sturgeon. Yet she says she stands by all the evidence she gave to the committee, and that it is clear the opposition members of this committee had made their minds up about her before she'd uttered a single word of evidence. Which, I'll be honest, I don't like party line politics. But if all I see is party line politics, then it tells me that your guys were always going to vote one way anyway. So they made their mind up about you because you're their supreme leader. Back to the virus thing, though. So, as far as the rollout goes, we are still vaccinating people in the hundreds of thousands a day or whatever it is. But there is going to be a delay to Scotland. I know they're having an issue because of this, because of the issue with India, I believe, and the UK. So it's going to be a case that things are going to slow a little. But I know the EU nations were trying to play with us, and we're like, okay, well, France has just entered another 1 month lockdown. Well done. Germany is still in a lockdown. Well done. All the other countries that are about to go into lockdowns again, congratulations. We're coming out of ours soon because people are taking that bloody herd immunity vaccine with the microchipping that Bill Gates created with Bitcoin.
Oh.
And stonks.
Yes. Yes. That's the thing. Correct.
I don't know why I said that.
My brain hurt there.
I don't know why I said that. I feel like I just spurged. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit. It kind of just like short-circuited.
Yeah. I don't even...
just like word vomit.
I don't think Bill Gates even knows what Bitcoin is.
I think he does, and I think he thinks it's stupid because he didn't build it.
Yeah. To be fair, did he build Windows or did he steal something off someone?
He stole it from Wozniak, yeah. Oh no, Steve Jobs stole it off Wozniak, didn't he?
Yeah. No, Bill Gates. If memory serves, didn't Bill Gates make a deal with a friend to create Windows, and he reneged on the deal with the friend?
I think so.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. Steve Wozniak did make a lot of Apple stuff, so that was Steve Jobs, not Bill Gates.
I think Wozniak needs to care. Woz has got loads of money anyway.
Yeah, well. Oh well.
Everyone
People
knows
have more money than I ever hope to have. So
donate to Tropsis Streamlabs. Linked below. Yes,
perhaps I can get on the level of Steve Wozniak. Who knows?
Yes, please. All just donate to him at streamlabs.com/drunkenuncle.
No. All right. So the last thing that we have on our
oh yeah, put this image on the screen. There we go.
Yeah. Okay. So this happened today at like what? Freaking like 11:30 Eastern time.
Yes.
So Joe Biden was getting on went from Marine One helicopter to Air Force One, and on his way to get on Air Force One, he slips and trips going up the stairs. Okay, this is not a big deal for the most part.
So before you even say the however part, what did we say when we spoke about this briefly before the stream?
Well, we said a lot of things, but one of the things that I was thinking was that this he didn't need to run up the stairs.
Yeah. So that was
one of my biggest gripes is he ran up the stairs.
Yeah, my view was he looks like he has big feet based on the side view, and the steps look very thin. So, yes, he's wearing freaking leather sole shoes on a carpet. He's going to slip if he goes at any pace. And he clearly wants to try and look spry, limber, vibrant.
Youthful.
Yeah, but he failed, and he fell over 3 times.
Yeah, that was the worst one.
The third one was the interesting one because he actually brushed his leg. I didn't think he could do that, but then I realized he's got very long arms as well. And I trip over my stairs all the time. We've got decent steps here, but I have clown feet. I've got massive feet for my height, and so my feet, I trip over slabs in the road all the time because my feet, even if I lift my leg up properly, my foot's too long. It just clips things. It just happens. His case, he just slipped because I don't know, he just fumbled it, and then he obviously would have kept fumbling because it's like playing a video game that's getting stuck on the same level over and over again. Kept trying and kept trying, and he kept cocking it up because of it.
Well, not only that, but he wouldn't slow down, right? My first thought, I'm like, dude, you're 78 years old. Please stop jogging upstairs. Like, you're not proving anything when you fall over.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that.
You're making it look worse.
Yep. He did not help himself.
But you know, the White House didn't say that, Joe Biden fumbled going up the stairs because he was running and he shouldn't have, or anything like that. No, what did the White House tell us, Meg? What knocked over the president?
Wind.
That's right, wind.
Mother
Everyone, wind.
Fucking
knocked over.
Wind.
The Avatar came over and blew over the president.
That man is skinnier than my avatar. And just to point out, right, a test has been done on this. If two people, one skinny and one fat, are stood in front in wind, right, the fat guy is going over first because more surface area to hit. He has a freaking plane in the way of him. There was no wind hitting him. His hair didn't move unless he's got all the Brill cream in it. It's just, it's so...
How old is this man?
He's 78 or 9 or something, I don't know. It's just,
maybe.
I'm sorry.
But pig grease.
He's going to be the first president in his 80s, come on. He slipped over, it was not wind, okay? It was not. Alright? And it does need Benny Hill music, thank you for pointing that out in the YouTube chat.
Yeah.
Just stop it, okay? This is cringe.
It actually made me concerned, right? Because combine this with all the things that we talked about earlier, and you have what I was talking about at the very beginning. All these things by themselves, they're not concerning. But we see a actual trend here with Biden slipping up, calling his vice president, President Harris. We see a media bending over backwards to try and, I don't know, give him credit, I guess, for trying to protect him at all costs, or giving him extra kudos where he doesn't deserve it. And then we see a man who physically either is making bad decisions and he's running upstairs, or perhaps, and this is the part that is the what's the word? Conspiracy. Maybe he's just a little old. Maybe he can't do it anymore.
It's possible. I do want to also say, we all trip up all the time. People mention it in the YouTube chat. Last time I tripped over, I was walking through some scaffolding that was above a shop because they used some wooden bits of scaffold board they cut up and put underneath the beams because the shop is on a hill. I kicked one of those beams with my foot and tripped over. It happens. This is just clumsy. And yeah, because he's in that mindset of trying to remain exuberant, it just comes. He kept cocking it up. It's not a big deal. But I'll be honest, with the constant mumbling, fumbling, it doesn't look good. And the fact, another issue in the UK, the only people who are reporting on this as if it's a health condition are the Telegraph and the Daily Mail. Right, the Daily Mail is right-leaning. I think the Telegraph is as well. But no one else is. The BBC sure as feck aren't. They're too busy. Oh, I'll tell you what they're reporting on. I will quickly go and look at their website now. They're reporting on Germany's exponential rise in COVID cases and the happiest country in the world revealed.
Oh, I kind of want to know what the happiest country is. Let me guess, it's Sweden. For never locking down.
I'm sorry. Right, so I'm just going to preface this by saying I know there's an artist, a very talented and lovely artist, vicious person when she's not in a good mood. But she's from Finland, which has been named the happiest country for the 4th year in a row. I feel like these two things don't reflect each other very well.
Oh.
Denmark is in second, then Switzerland, Iceland, and then the Netherlands. And the UK is in 17th.
Where's America?
I will tell you when I get it.
I bet you it's not even on there.
It's not in the top 10. It's not in the top 20. No. I don't know where it is. Top 10 on.
That's because we're very unhappy people.
Sorry, man.
That's okay. I'll get over it.
Sweden was 7.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so all of this together makes a very concerning thing. And the fact that then the White House will come out and say, yeah, by the way, the wind knocked him over, it pisses me off.
Yeah.
I would much rather them come out and be honest about it, because this is what they have to address, right? Because the other thing that they could address, instead of Joe Biden saying President Harris, Joe Biden potentially having a green screen during an interview, or Joe Biden falling down the stairs, is Joe Biden neglecting the crisis at the border, in which thousands upon thousands of migrants are pouring through into the United States daily, and about, 300 to 400 are being apprehended every day?
Yeah.
That's horrible. And then they have the audacity to say, well, it's because the other administration left us with this huge crisis to handle. The other administration had actually fixed the problem and actually reduced the problem. Y'all fucked it up.
America was 14th.
No way.
You're above you're above Canada.
Fuck you, Canada.
Yeah, but you're below you're below Israel.
Well, that's hilarious considering they have bombs being dropped on them and we don't.
But they're clearly a lot happier.
They're happy about it.
Yeah. Okay.
They're like, fuck you, let's go, boys.
I will, for the sake of it, just for your own amusement, I'll link it to you so you can have a little read. There you go. It's on page 6 if you're curious. All right.
Happiness report.
Yeah. It's I could put it in the chat for people, couldn't I?
Yeah, might as well.
Happiness report. Is this the correct one? It is, right. For those on YouTube, happiness report. Enjoy. It is there for you. I'll link it on Spotify as well for those who do listen over there.
Yeah.
Oh, and everyone in the chat,
yeah.
please consider giving us a follow on Spotify. We greatly appreciate it. We're on
Yes,
we're on
allow us
39
to
followers.
grow our-
Yeah. We're on 39 followers. We'd like more because we're selfish.
Always.
I will get a link and put that in there too. Do you want to continue talking about Biden's health?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's Biden's health and the distraction from the actual problem with which is the migrant crisis right now. He in one of his executive orders, he literally told or basically stopped all of the construction on the border wall, even the parts that were already funded and agreed upon. He just said, no, outright, we're not doing it. And that means that there's holes everywhere. There's even the thing that the leftists like to show is that the trucks that had brought materials to the wall have made this nice little path that migrants can follow.
Oh boy!
And I'm like, yeah, that'd be great if there fucking wasn't a wall missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there can be roads to where the wall is being built. It's a lot easier to defend it when there's not a hole. But that's what we're being distracted from, because Kids in Cages was the badness that they put on Trump. Ironically, that was made during the Obama era. Well, welcome to Obama era part 2. And we have more Kids in Cages. And also
That's not what it's
border
called anymore,
towns.
is it?
Well, border towns are also increasing their are also seeing a increase in their crime rates. Um, somewhere are in like the 300%.
Oh, really?
Yeah, traffic violations, car accidents, petty robbery, petty theft. Um,
Oh boy.
so yeah, good job, everybody. Everyone's doing great at their jobs right now.
That sounds disturbing.
The poor border agents are trying their fucking best. I really should give them credit, actually, because they are actually trying, and they are trying to do their best, but they are not getting nearly the support they need
They
from our
won't.
government.
Isn't? I mentioned this to you before the stream as well. There's this idea and belief. It was going on for 4 years. People were saying that the reason many of the very, very left-leaning Democrats want to leave the border open is that because those that come through and live in your country then will vote Democrat because they're the ones that allowed it. But that's not what will happen. Florida is an example of that. People who came to America who are themselves immigrants. I think you qualify, don't you? Your family are somewhat conservative-ish, half-ish.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
And it's because people earned the right to come here, and these people did not. They don't respect them. They are to them alien, and they are not welcome by. And Florida was an example of it because Florida has a huge number of legal immigrant workers, and they voted for Trump. That's why his head office is now in Florida, because that state is very much his.
Well, remember, Trump had the most minority support of any Republican president in the last 40 years.
Yes, that's true. He did quite well.
So, it is a real thing when Joe Biden had made those comments, basically putting down the minority communities. He did so at his own risk.
Mm-hmm.
And he did pay the price for it, whether or not it's whether or not it's something that will ever be admitted.
Yeah, but you got to remember, if they don't vote Democrat, they're not really black.
Yeah.
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 Okay. That's something. It's yeah.
Our world is fucked.
It's been. Well, I remember, when we said when he first got inaugurated, the first 100 days are usually the most important. You tend to disagree because you said you had because of it's like a silly measure, but we're not even 60 days. Well, we're 60 odd days in, and so many cock ups.
Oh, it's bad, dude. Like, if
but
this
no one's
is
talking
your
about
first
it.
100. No, of course they're not allowed to.
It's just stupid.
I don't think they're allowed to, because honestly, if I had to guess and tell you who I think is actually in charge of everything right now, it's Nancy Pelosi and Kamala Harris. No joke. I think they're the ones who are running most things right now. Because Nancy Pelosi is the reason why we still have Capitol Police letting National Guard occupy our nation's capital.
Yeah. That's not healthy.
They're trying to right now oust a sitting Republican congressperson because the Democrat believed that they didn't lose. Because they believe that the votes that went into the Republicans were illegitimate votes.
Well,
I've heard this before.
That sounds eerily familiar. I can't quite put my finger on it. Where did you hear? It really got.
Where have I heard this before?
It's a noggin jogging. I can't imagine why.
Yes. Now imagine if they had actually maybe entertained the idea for a little bit from Donald Trump. Perhaps they would have actually had some, I don't know, maybe some support.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some people who were feeling the way that they feel. Who knows? But yeah, sadly, that level of hindsight and retrospect is too much. Is too much.
Too much, huh?
No, too much for them.
Okay, we asked too much. You heard it here, folks. Too much.
We asked too much of these people, apparently.
Apparently so. I have a question then, I guess. What do you
Sure.
think is going to happen when Biden does finally do that press conference? Is he going to actually be put on the spot, or is it just going to be sycophants asking sycophant questions with nobody even prying in areas where he's fundamentally failed so early on?
If Biden actually does take questions, or when he finally addresses the nation, I think he's going to address it by telling everybody he's resigning. I legitimately think that, because I think he's going to basically say, "Yep, she's your president now," and everyone's going to go, "Wait, what?"
So that's the funny thing for me, I guess. If and we had this issue here in the UK when Boris took over from Theresa May. He took over, and although we do a representation system first past the post, so the most number of MPs party wins. Simple as that. Their leader is then Prime Minister. So technically, no leader has a mandate, but the party has a mandate. If with Boris was then chosen to take on, many people in Parliament said that you don't have a mandate because you weren't chosen. You weren't elected by the people, which is true and not true, because he's still the leader of the party with the biggest numbers. But that's not the same in your country, because they voted, yep, for Biden. Therefore, she does not, no offense to Vice President Harris at all, you do not have a mandate. You are, at best, Gerald Ford.
Yeah, basically, you're inheriting it.
And he had no mandate either. I can't dump on him. I don't know half his policies. But he was never meant to be president. Simple as that. And I'm not saying Vice President Harris isn't meant to be president. She well could become president one day. You never know. But right now, if she is there, if he resigned and she took over, she has no mandate to be there. She has constitutional right, yes. But just doesn't.
Think about it in terms of the last presidency. Did people vote for Trump, or did people vote for Pence?
Right, that's the point.
People voted for Trump.
Yeah. You mean the same? When people were complaining, others pointed out, if you get rid of Trump, you're gonna get Pence instead, you know. It's like, hang on, do we want to do this now? But Pence isn't that bad, to be fair. He just had a really shitty idea in the past.
I don't know. I think he's establishment. After watching what happened during the Capitol and the counting of votes, I don't know. I don't know the actual ins and outs of it. I just hoped that he would do something.
Yeah, what I mean is,
maybe that's just like me being like a little like pissy.
What I mean, yeah, no. You were pissy when it happened. What I meant was, that is exactly it. Because his establishment, there's nothing to him. It's not. But people latched onto the bad aspect being the gay conversion therapy thing. And hello, Bunny Blackwell. Hope you're doing well. It's beyond that, there isn't much to him. And but because of the gay conversion therapy, people had that thrown in their faces and like, is he worse than Trump? Tough choice. The answer is no. He's establishment. Establishment it's just that. I think we've run out of time, by the way.
Yes, you're quite right. Do you have anything to shill, sir?
No, but this will be on Spotify within an hour or two. So please keep an eye out for that and give us a follow. I would greatly appreciate it. It does us some good to know we are spreading out like a virus.
Yes, indeed. I do enjoy spreading out like a virus.
It seemed apt with current going on with the world.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't have anything else to shill myself. So I guess that is it. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and thank you for the 64 likes with the 64 people watching right now. I really do appreciate that.
Nice.
Yes, very nice. Thank you very much for all your help, and the chat was always fun. Well, with nothing else, say good night, Meg.
Good night, Meg.